Hey everybody, what's going on? So in today's video, we are going to be breaking down a price chart. So we're going to be breaking down pound USD together to start off the trading week because I see that it has a really good potential trading opportunity. And I want to break this down and show you guys how I personally like to do top down analysis. So before we get into it, let's talk about what top down analysis is. So top down analysis basically means you're going to start at your starting time frame. Like if you were to sit down on your computer, what time frame do you first begin to look at? That should be your highest time frame for you personally, right? Then what you're going to do is once you're on that time frame, you want to spot out your trend. What is the trend? Okay, so let's go through that first. First step first, let's find a trend. Now I'm a swing trader, so I start off on the monthly time frame. Okay, so when I'm on that monthly time frame, the only thing that I'm doing for right now is just gonna spot out my trend. I can see that we are making lower lows and lower highs. Now I use this price table tool here on TradingView. You guys can get that if you come over here. And let's see, I think it's under the text button, the T, and just scroll down price level, put a star by it, and then it'll show up in your favorites bar. Okay, so with that being said, now what I'm going to do is start to mark out my highs and my lows. For me, I only need like 2 or 3 highs and lows. So we have a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. And what this lets me know is we are in a downtrend. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to start doing from this time frame as well is plotting out my structures. Now, I don't use a lot of market structure when I trade. I'm mostly a supply and demand trader, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm looking to see, okay, well, where's the next area that price can potentially go to? Now, I'm looking at this area here in the market. I'm not so much concerned about this area just yet, back here at the previous lower highs, but I am going to mark this out for my potential supply area. So I'm going to have that marked out for the future. Now, what I'm going to focus on is this area right here, because if I'm noticing these high and these low points, what I do notice is that price has not come back to top out this area here. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe if price stays below this area, we may be able to go lower, right? So now I'm going to plot out more structure, and I see that we had a bearish engulfing candle. Price came back up to retest. So what I need price to do is to stay below this engulfing candle. So once again, I'm using this area as a supply area for right now. And I see that for the month of October, we closed as a doji candle, right? You can say it's an inverted hammer, you can say it's a doji, it's whatever you say this candle is, but for me, I see it as a doji. So I'm going to be looking to see if price is going to stay higher or lower. So I have my structure points, I have what I'm looking for as far as this time frame goes. Either price is going to continue to sell off because we are in a downtrend, or price could potentially continue to buy. So we need more information. So this is when I'm going to go to my weekly time frame to see what's going on. So on my weekly time frame now, what I'm going to see and what I'm going to start notice is, well, for number one, although price is in a downtrend, looking at this area here, this is the retracement to that downtrend, which means price is in a downtrend. That's the trend, but the cycle is different. So the cycle means that we're in a retracing cycle. So if I take a buy, I'm trading against the trend. If I take a sell, I'm in trend continuation, right? So I'm having that understanding and that thought before I even place my trade. So I know the trend down because of the monthly time frame. Weekly time frame, the cycle is we're in retracement mode. Okay, so this is the full retracement against the trend. Now, what I'm also going to start notice is I'm going to start to point out more structural points here based on the candle. So I don't particularly trade support or resistance or anything. My supply and demand is just based on candles by itself. So as I'm looking at this area, I'm looking to see, okay, well, I got my trend cycle. I know we're in a downtrend. I know we're in a retracement cycle. So I'm looking to see, okay, well, the week before last, we closed as a rejection candle. Last week, we're closing as a hammer. And so the color doesn't matter. What's going to really matter is where is price getting ready to go? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot out what I'm looking for. What I'm going to need price to do is to potentially stay below the last leading weekly candle. Okay, and if we could stay below this candle, we could potentially continue down. All right, so I have two areas where I'm saying, hey, if price stays below, these are my confirmations. If price stays below these areas, then I want to continue to sell off with this information. If it continues higher, it continues higher, but we need to see the evidence of that information. So this is where, you know, it starts to get good at, right? So now we're on this daily time frame. Okay, so now I can't erase this because I don't need too much on my price chart. So now what I'm going to be looking at is the fact that, okay, so we know that price is in a retracing form within the uptrend. Within the downtrend. Like, we got that part, right? I know that I'm looking for price to stay below a particular price point based on a candle, which is at 1.295s. If you look at the price scale, right? I got that part. But right now, what I'm saying is price is continuing the retracement mode, which means it's moving against the overall trend and it's retracing. And what it's doing within its retracement mode is, or the pullback mode, is making these highs and low parts right here. So let me break this down. Price isn't doing anything different on your time frame. Okay, when we went to the monthly time frame, you guys saw that there was a hammer and then there was a bearish engulfing candle. That's all of this information right here. Okay, when we went to the weekly, we saw the rejection candle and the hammer. That's all of this information per the weekly time frame right here. Those candles are what makes up the higher time frames. So price isn't doing anything different. It can't do anything different. The reason why I'm saying that is because price creates price, right? If you break a candle down, it's literally showing you how price moved for that time period. So within this area, the retracement area, that's the same retracement that we just saw on the weekly time frame, right? That's all of this information. So this is what we trade on a week by week basis. So when you break the information down, you're just breaking down candle by candle by candle. You're breaking down those candles into fractions. Okay, so get out of, if you're that person who says candles looking like it's doing something different on every time frame, it's honestly not. Your mind is telling you that because you see the market moving in smaller candles. More candles, the more you drop down. Okay, so now I'm looking at this area and I'm saying, well, remember, I wanted price to stay below a particular candle. That was the hammer, which is right here. So I'm going to need something significant to happen before I can enter my trade. As price is retracing and making these highs and these lows and these highs and these lows, I know that, okay, well, if price breaks this higher low right here, this retracing higher low right here, if it breaks it, then what it's going to give me is a trend continuation move. So if it does something like this, if it breaks it, and if it comes back to retest in this area, I will have a stronger lead to potentially want to trade to the continued downside. That's part one, right? Here's why I'm saying part one. Fundamentals. I'm not looking at numbers. I'm not looking at daily FX or my FX book. I'm thinking about the coronavirus. I'm thinking about potential unemployment rates. I'm thinking about what's going on in the UK, right? What's going on in the United States. We have elections. So I'm neutral because even though price is retracing, price could retrace higher, which is why I started from the monthly time frame first, with understanding that from this area here, if we don't pass this higher low here at 1.286s, if we don't pass it, price could continue back up and it could continue to retrace back up to this upside here, back up to this previous high around 1.31774. And if I do get more bullish information in this area, then I would trade back up to the upside. However, if price continues down, and this is where my patience comes in at for both directions, I'm adaptable, I'm remaining neutral. If price continues down, what I am then going to do is I am going to take a sell to the downside. Once we get a break of this low point here for trend continuation, I'll wait for the break and retest, and then I'll trade back to the downside. Okay, so this is really potential, and this is how I'm breaking this information down, top down analysis, right? From my monthly, weekly time frame, breaking down my daily time frame based on just a few candles. And I'm making my decision to enter the trade per the daily time frame first. I want to first be in for that daily time frame, because then it makes my other trades a little bit more easier to get into if I decide to drop down to my 4 hour to place any potential trade setups there. So I hope you guys liked this information. If you're brand new to the market and you need help, well, I go live on Instagram on Mondays and Tuesdays. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I host free classes over there around between 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be hosting a class tonight and tomorrow on Instagram. So once again, make sure you join me on Instagram. My handle is at the Shaquan Lopez, at the Shaquan Lopez. About to say my old handle name, at the Shaquan Lopez, and I'll be over there. If you like this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you comment below. Did you like this analysis? Did you like the breakdown? And did you find this video very helpful and valuable? If you did, thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.